Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating cultural phenomenon in Japan that happens right around this time of year, mid to late May. You see, right as the weather starts getting gorgeous and summer is just around the corner, a huge portion of the Japanese population gets hit by something called Gogatsu-byou, or May sickness. It's not a clinical disease, but rather a collective societal burnout. Today, we'll talk about why this happens, and more importantly, how the Japanese overcome it using beautiful traditional reset rituals. If you've ever felt burnt out right when you're supposed to be having fun, or if you're planning a trip to Japan and want to travel mindfully, this episode is going to give you some amazing tools to reset your mind and body. Let's get into it. So, what exactly is Gogatsu-byou? Translated literally, it means May sickness. It usually hits right after Golden Week, which is Japan's massive string of public holidays in early May. People return to their normal lives, and suddenly, they just can't. It's a profound sense of lethargy, mild burnout, and a complete lack of motivation. You might find it hard to get out of bed, or you might look at your daily routine and think, why am I doing this? It's fascinating because it happens right as the trees are turning bright green and the weather is perfect. But it's so common in Japan that it has its own name and is openly discussed on national television. It's a collective, seasonal fatigue. To understand why this happens in May, you have to understand April in Japan. Unlike the West, Japan's fiscal and academic years begin on April 1st. It is a massive month of change. New college graduates start their first jobs. Families relocate across the country. Students enter new schools. The entire country is running on pure adrenaline and nervous energy, trying to make a good first impression. Then, right at the end of April, you hit Golden Week. People finally stop. They relax. And when they have to go back to work in mid-May, the adrenaline is gone. The psychological crash is intense. It's essentially an adrenaline hangover that sweeps the entire nation at the exact same time. We often think of vacations as a time to recharge. The expectation is that after a week off during Golden Week, people will come back to the office at 100% battery. But the reality is quite different. When you are constantly stressed, your body produces cortisol to keep you going. When you finally stop and rest, those stress hormones drop, and your body finally realizes just how utterly exhausted it is. Golden Week doesn't recharge the battery. It just turns off the warning lights so you can finally see that the battery has been at 15% all along. That realization, that heaviness, is the core of Gogatsu-byou. So, how does Japan deal with this? They don't just push through it, they use specific rituals to reset. In the West, our instinct when we feel sluggish is often to push through it. Drink more coffee, hustle harder, force yourself to be productive. Japan has a fundamentally different approach. The culture embraces the concept of resetting or washing away the stagnation. It's about changing your physical state, your environment, and your focus to break the cycle of burnout. As we look towards the vibrant energy of summer, the Japanese transition into it using 4 distinct pillars: thermal resets through baths, environmental resets in nature, spatial resets in Zen temples, and mindful resets through tea. If you're traveling to Japan or just feeling burnt out at home, adopting these 4 rituals can completely change your trajectory. The first and perhaps most vital reset is the thermal reset. Sento, the local public baths, and Onsen, the natural hot springs. In Japan, bathing is a deeply ingrained daily ritual, not just for hygiene, but for mental separation. Taking off your clothes and entering a massive steaming hot bath serves as a physical boundary. You are literally leaving your working self in the locker room. The extreme heat forces your tense muscles to release. There's also a concept called Hadaka no Tsukiai, which means naked communion. When you are in a public bath, nobody cares if you are a CEO or an intern. Societal titles disappear. It is the ultimate equalizer and a powerful way to wash away the stress of societal expectations. There is actual science behind why the Japanese bath is so effective at curing burnout. It hacks your autonomic nervous system. Japanese baths are typically very hot, around 40 to 42 degrees Celsius, or 104 to 108 Fahrenheit. When you soak in water that hot, your core body temperature rises significantly. It increases blood flow and relaxes stiff muscles. But the real magic happens after you get out. As your body rapidly cools back down to room temperature, that steep drop in core body temperature is the exact biological trigger your brain needs to initiate deep, restorative sleep. It shifts your nervous system from fight or flight into rest and digest. This is why a post-Sento sleep feels so incredibly deep and healing. The second pillar is the environmental reset, known as Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. Now, when Westerners hear this, they often think of a strenuous hike or a cardio workout. That is not Shinrin-yoku. Forest bathing is about immersion. It's about walking slowly, intentionally, and engaging all 5 of your senses with the forest atmosphere. May is the absolute perfect time for this because of Shinrin-yoku, the emergence of fresh, incredibly vibrant green leaves. If you've been staring at spreadsheets or a phone screen, taking a slow walk through a vibrant green bamboo grove or a cedar forest acts as a profound visual and mental reset. You aren't trying to reach a peak, you are just existing in the space. Again, Japan has heavily researched the physiological benefits of this practice. Trees emit organic compounds called phytoncides. These are essential oils the trees release to protect themselves from insects and decay. When humans breathe in these phytoncides in the forest air, it actually increases the activity of our immune cells and lowers our heart rate. Furthermore, studies conducted across Japan have shown that just 20 minutes of sitting or walking slowly in a forest environment drastically reduces your levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, compared to walking in a city. You are chemically lowering your stress levels just by breathing the air around these trees. The third pillar is the spatial reset, found in Zen mindfulness and temple gardens. Modern life is a constant bombardment of sensory input, notifications, traffic, emails. Japanese rock gardens, known as kare-san-sui, are the ultimate antidote. They are meticulously designed not to be walked through, but to be viewed from a seated, stationary position on a wooden veranda. You sit and you look at meticulously raked gravel and stones. It forces you to stop moving. If you visit a temple in late May or June when the early summer rains begin, sitting on that wooden porch and simply listening to the rhythm of the rain hitting the roof is one of the most profoundly calming experiences you can have. It strips away all the sensory overload. This practice is rooted in a fundamental Japanese concept called ma. Ma translates loosely to negative space, or pause. In Western art and schedules, we often feel the need to fill every inch of the canvas, every minute of the day. If there's an empty hour, we schedule a meeting. But in Japanese aesthetics, the empty space gives meaning to the filled space. It's the silence between the notes that creates the music. It's the unpainted silk that highlights the brushstroke. When dealing with Gogatsu-byou, the remedy is applying ma to your life. It means intentionally carving out empty space in your mind and your schedule. Giving yourself permission to literally do nothing is how you regain your clarity. The fourth and final reset pillar is mindfulness, best experienced through the ritual of matcha and wagashi, traditional green tea and sweets. This isn't like grabbing a coffee to go. It is a deliberate pause. The ritual relies on contrast. You first eat the intricately crafted sweet wagashi, which coats your palate, and then you drink the hot, earthy, bitter matcha. The sharp contrast snaps your brain into the present moment. Furthermore, the wagashi are always shaped to reflect the exact micro-season you are in, perhaps a hydrangea flower or a young green leaf. It is an edible reminder to stop dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, and just appreciate the beautiful season right in front of you. The tea ceremony is anchored by a famous Japanese idiom, Ichi-go, Ichi-e. It translates to one time, one meeting, or once in a lifetime. The philosophy is that this exact gathering, with this exact cup of tea, this specific lighting, and this exact feeling, will never occur again in the history of the universe. Even if the same people meet in the same room tomorrow, it will be different. By embracing Ichi-go, Ichi-e, You stop taking your routine for granted. You stop feeling burnt out by the repetition of daily life because you realize that no 2 days are actually the same. It shifts your mindset from exhaustion to deep gratitude for the present moment. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not a Japanese salaryman. Why does this matter to me? Well, travelers get Gogatsu-byou too. Think about it. You arrive in Japan, full of adrenaline, and you try to cram Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and Hiroshima into a single 7-day trip. You are rushing from temple to train to shrine. By day 4, you hit a wall. You are exhausted, cranky, and suffering from temple fatigue. You experience the exact same adrenaline crash. If you want to actually enjoy your trip, you need to apply these Japanese reset rituals to your own itinerary. Let's look at 3 specific hacks to ensure you stay energized and mindful during your journey. Hack number 1 is scheduling that negative space we talked about, into your itinerary. A common mistake is planning out every single hour of the day. Apply the 80% rule. Only plan your days to 80% capacity. Leave deliberate blank space. That gives you the freedom to wander down a cool alleyway you found, sit at a local kisaten cafe for an hour, or just rest. Secondly, swap out one of your late-night drinking sessions for a trip to the local Sento. Walking 20,000 steps a day destroys your legs. Soaking in a 40-degree bath will reset your muscles and give you the deepest sleep of your life, ensuring you wake up ready to explore the next day. Hack number 2 is learning to embrace Tsuyu, Japan's rainy season, which usually hits from late May through June. Many tourists get upset when it rains, but in Japan, rain is incredibly atmospheric. Instead of hiding in a mall, grab a clear umbrella and head to a temple. The rain makes the ancient mosque glow a vibrant, saturated green, and it washes away the crowds. This is also the season for ajisai, or hydrangeas. Places like Kamakura are famous for their stunning hydrangea paths that actually look better in the rain. Let the sound of the rain be your spatial reset. It's an incredibly moody, beautiful way to experience the country. Hack number 3 is the Depachika picnic. Sometimes you are just too burnt out to go to a crowded restaurant, deal with a language barrier, and wait in line. When you hit that wall, head to a Depachika, the basement food halls of major Japanese department stores. They are culinary wonderlands. You can point and choose from an incredible array of exquisite seasonal bento boxes, gourmet yakitori, and beautiful Wagashi sweets. Take your haul to a nearby park like Shinjuku-gyoen, or honestly, just take it back to your hotel room, put on a yukata, and have a relaxing feast in bed. It's the ultimate low-effort, high-reward reset. Ultimately, the reason the Japanese take these May and June resets so seriously is because they are preparing for summer. Japanese summers are intensely hot, but they are also incredibly vibrant. It is the season of massive Matsuri street festivals, wearing yukatas, eating shaved ice, and watching spectacular hanabi fireworks lighting up the night sky. You need energy to enjoy all of that. The deep rest of the Sento, the quiet of the rainy Zen garden. They are the necessary quiet before the beautiful, chaotic symphony of summer begins. The rest is what makes the excitement possible. To quickly recap, you don't need to be in Japan to use these tools. You can apply the 4 pillars of reset anywhere. First, the thermal reset. Use hot baths to draw a physical boundary between work and rest. Second, the environmental reset. Get out into nature, leave your phone behind, and let the fight insides lower your stress. Third, the spatial reset. Embrace negative space, and intentionally schedule time to do absolutely nothing. And finally, the mindful reset. Practice Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Remember that this exact moment will never happen again, so appreciate the small things, like a good cup of tea or a beautiful sunset. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this video helps you navigate through any burnout you might be feeling and gives you some exciting ideas for your next trip to Japan. I'd love to hear from you. What is your favorite way to reset when you're feeling exhausted? Do you take a hot bath, go for a walk, or just unplug? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Japanese culture and wellness, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful, restful week, and I'll see you in the next video.